Hi everyone! Today's video is the third installment of my Sims 2 Family Tree series. If you have not watched the first two episodes, I recommend checking those videos out first. As I've mentioned there, you can see a more detailed breakdown of the first two generations of my Sims family tree on the blog posts that I will have linked in the description. All the other disclaimers and stuff that I mentioned in the previous videos still stand, but I did try to make it so the images weren't as glitchy, but there's only so much that I can do. This episode will take a look at the family line of the Sim based on my real life other brother, my youngest brother, who will be referred to as EM throughout this video for the sake of privacy. I'm going to stick with the style that I used for episode 2 with this video, so here we go. EM married Arcadia Jacobson, a townie, and had 4 kids, Joshua, Susanna, and twins named Isis and Hera. EM and Arcadia's son is named Joshua. The naming theme for his family line is that EM picked the names in real life, but when I started this family, he was like in grade 4, and it turns out now as a 25-year-old, he doesn't remember where he got the majority of these names from, so I apologize, but that's what we're working with. Joshua married Tiffany Sampson, who is one of the sorority sisters from Sim State University. I talked about the Tri-Var sorority household quite a bit in episode 2, so if you didn't see that or don't remember since it's been like a whole year, here's the timestamp where I talk about them in that video. Joshua and Tiffany had twins named Zachary and Summer. EM doesn't remember how he came up with the name Zachary, but Summer is a character from Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs, so that is how she got her name. EM's oldest daughter is named Susanna. She probably has the best name backstory of all the Sims in this family. Back in like pre-Sims 2 days, I was playing Sims 1 and it was a thing to make these like torture chambers that exploited various ways to die. I was like 10, so please don't hold this against me. There would be rooms full of ovens and fireplaces, rooms with no food, and then of course pools with no ladders, and the adult Sims would be sequestered in their respective room. My brother EM, who was like 5 at the time, was very distraught over this, so I made a family with a little girl who had pigtails, and she was dressed in this like cowgirl outfit, and her name was Susanna after the folk song like, "Oh Susanna, don't you cry for me." And Susanna had her own little house on the property, and everything was furnished really nice with bookshelves so she didn't have to go to school, which was, you know, just Sims 1 things. To expedite the process of the other rooms after the pool scenario worked, I used the genie, and one of the bad outcomes when you use the genie was fire. So I figured since the genie was in the fire room, that was where things would light on fire, but that was not the case, and the fire started in Susanna's little house, which had no doors, so she couldn't accidentally go into the pool or any of the rooms of the main house. So yeah, as penance for that, EM's kid in Sims 2 is named Susanna, and she had pigtails, so she was an homage to the OG Susanna, who we all cried for a little bit. Anyway, Susanna married Liam James, a member of the James family that I made and talked about briefly in episode 1, where I had a single mom who had 7 toddlers, and Liam is the blonde, pale one. Susanna and Liam started the naming theme of song names, which I know was a thing in another family line, but it was like 2009 and there were no rules. Their son is Steven after Taylor Swift's 2008 song, Hey Steven, and you should go stream Taylor Swift's 2021 version, Hey Steven, Taylor's version, and the link will be down below. The first of EM's twin daughters is named Isis after the Egyptian goddess. I actually looked up how to properly pronounce her name because turns out we're pronouncing like all the Egyptian gods' names wrong. It's very confusing, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna call her Isis because that's kind of how I said her name in my head for the last like 12-13 years, so just making that little fun disclaimer. Isis married Dominique Enriquez, a townie from one of the university campuses, La Fiesta Tech. And since I thought it was very unusual to have Dominique as a male name, their naming theme became gender swapping, typically feminine names for masculine ones, vice versa, and their daughter is named Logan. Isis's twin is named Hera after the Greek goddess. Hera married Aldrich Davis from La Fiesta, Texas. He actually also has a twin who is named Almeric, but I don't think Almeric ever made it into the family tree, which bothered me quite a bit in like later years, but what can you do? Hera and Aldrich started a naming theme of characters from Ouran High School Host Club, and their son is named Maury. Susanna and Liam's son Stephen married Kinda Burb. Kinda is Lucy Burb's younger sister and is named after their maternal great-grandmother, Kinda Pleasant. I changed the naming theme to be more specifically Taylor Swift songs, and they had twin boys named Drew from Teardrops on My Guitar and John from Dear John. Joshua and Tiffany's son Zachary married Tiffany Burb, another of Lucy and Kinda's sisters, who is named after their paternal grandmother, Tiffany Burb. So yes, Zachary's mother and his wife have the same name, which is kind of weird, but it happens. Zachary and Tiffany had a daughter, and they continued the naming theme of EM choosing the name. He picked Maria, and this was one of the ones he did remember because it was his go-to wife in Harvest Moon because he liked the character from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Zachary's twin sister Summer married Vic Dreamer, the child of Darren Dreamer and Cassandra Goff, who is named after Victor Goff. Summer and Vic started a naming theme after like calendar events, so their twin boys are named August and Winter. Isis and Dominique's daughter Logan married Nicholas Monty, who is the child of Bianca Monty and Andrew Martin and named after his paternal great-grandfather Nicholas Cassis. And since Logan is also the name of Wolverine, I changed their naming theme to be superhero names. So Logan and Nicholas have twins named Kara and Clark, who are named after Supergirl and Superman. Hera and Aldrich's son Maury married Juliet Cap, I'm so sorry to Romeo, and had twins. I brought in the Ouran naming theme to Ouran and Mermaid Melody, which is a phase that I had, and their twins are named Kaoru and Sarah. Stephen and Kinda's son Drew married Elenia Hamilton, a family sim with the naming theme of birds. They continued this naming theme, and their daughter is named Robin. Drew's twin brother John married Vienna Martin, and here is the timestamp for episode 2 where you can learn the rest of their story. Zachary and Tiffany's daughter Maria married Saturn Adams, a family sim who came from an outer space naming theme. EM chose the name of their daughter Rebecca. Summer and Vic's son August married a family sim named Rhiannon Aspire. Since August was the name of a character from Once Upon a Time, that became their naming theme. You may remember in episode 2 when I said a sim was named after a Once Upon a Time character named Jefferson. I believe I may have been mistaken, and I think that sim was actually named after a song called Jefferson Aeroplane. If you go back and you see it, that makes more sense. Honest mistake, you know.
Take chances. Make mistakes.
But yeah, so August and his wife Rhiannon continued the Once Upon a Time naming theme, the one and only Once Upon a Time naming theme, and their daughter's name is Abigail. August's twin brother Winter married a family sim named Dara Nova, and here's a timestamp for the rest of their story in episode 2. Logan and Nicholas's daughter Kara married Jonesy Thorne, and here is their timestamp for their part in episode 2. Kara's twin brother Clark married Amara Fuchs, who is a family sim from a Sailor Moon naming theme, and their son is named Andrew. Maury and Juliet's son Kaoru married Sandra Roth from the Sims 2 Seasons neighborhood River Blossom Hills. They continued the same name theme and named their daughter after Lucia from Mermaid Melody. Kaoru's twin sister Sarah married a family sim named Reese Kim. Their naming theme became names from the Aspire family tree, and their daughter's name is Karolisa after Kisa Kozlov, Pauline Aspire's paternal great-great-grandmother. Drew and Elenia's daughter Robin married Geraldine Weir. Geraldine is the son of Connor Weir and Samantha Cordial, and he is named after his paternal great-grandfather, Geraldine Weir. Robin and Geraldine continued the bird naming theme, and their daughter is named Raven. Maria and Saturn's daughter Rebecca married Jaden Rutherford. You might need to hold on for this one. Jaden was the child of the Grim Reaper with Jenny Smith. She was newly widowed again. This time her husband Jeff Rutherford had passed away. And he's named after Jaden O'Mackey. I'm not really sure why, but yeah. Rebecca and Jaden have a son, and EM chose the name Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks. August and Rhiannon's daughter Abigail married Danny Curious. Danny is the son of Laszlo Curious and Kimberly Cordial and is named after his maternal grandfather, Danny Cordial. I decided to broaden the Once Upon a Time naming theme to be just TV shows in general. So Abigail and Danny's son is named Bailey after Bailey from Party of Five. I decided the baby's name was going to be Bailey regardless, but if it was a girl, I would say that she's named after Miranda Bailey from Grey's Anatomy. Clark and Amara's son Andrew married Artemis Curious. Artemis is another child of Laszlo Curious and Kimberly Cordial, and that makes her Danny's sister. And she is named after Artemis Cordial, who is her maternal great-grandmother. And since Artemis is also a character in Sailor Moon, she married into the Sailor Moon naming theme. So Andrew and Artemis continued that naming theme, and their daughter's name is Mina. Karu and Sandra's daughter Lucia married Neil Picasso of Family Sim. I changed their naming theme to be Shakespeare, and their son's name is Oliver after the character from As You Like It. Sarah and Reese's daughter Carolisa married Caleb Grunt of Family Sim. They continued naming kids after members of the Espear family, so their daughter is Louisa after Luis Espear. So those are all the Sims in this branch of my 7 generation, over 350 Sim long family tree. As always, I welcome any feedback you may have. I'll have any links in the description. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day.